Good morning, and how is everybody doing this fine day? I don't know what it's like with you guys, but it is super, super wet here. However, we're rising above all of that because we've got so much incredibly exciting stuff happening. Now, I don't know about you, but every single day I seem to be learning something completely new about the energy field in the body. And I just had to come on this morning to share this with you because it's just beyond exciting, really. Give me a second. I'm just trying to line up all the Facebook makes it so difficult. Yeah. So what I'm going to talk to you about and what I'm going to hopefully be able to teach you. My friend May, she bought the 528 book and she said, I hate it. I was like, what do you mean you hate it? But I kind of actually did understand because it's mental maths and physics. And, I've not done that for 50 years. And either has May. So we were both a bit like, right, okay, this is this is pretty crazy. But how do we get this information, which is so, so, so important, out to the masses in a way that you can understand? So here is my attempt. Give me a second just till I get this. Here is my attempt to technology. So this morning I was looking at, obviously, if you come in my breathwork training, you know that I created a breathwork training, which was pretty interesting because, well, first of all, I had to start to try to identify what actually am I doing here? What is it that is different about what I'm doing? Why are people telling me it's the best breathwork they've ever done? And I've heard it literally hundreds of times every day when I was in Sky. And then since then, and then we started doing it at the Polar Bear Club, started doing it at Curbs, the same thing, just this incredible feedback that really kind of took me a little bit aback. Because I was like, well, what is it? What exactly is happening? And so when I was creating the training, that's when I had to go, like, what's happening here? What are we doing that's different? I mean, I understand the science, that's why I created it. I had no intentions of taking it out to the masses, but clearly that's what was meant to happen. And so I started, basically, when you come in the training, and this is, why I've been holding back, looking at dates for another one, which will definitely be next year. But we're looking at the body as an electromagnetic system. We talk about the toroidal field, and this is really, I've known about this, Joe Dispenza talks about it. The toroidal field is the energy system, and I'm just going to show you. Here's one I made earlier. Yeah, so this is really how it looks like. And most of us can't see this, right? Because we're working with the unseen, we're working with the invisible. So as you can see, the heart's in there. It's the heart center, which is in the middle of the chest for men and women. There's a field comes off the heart. Now, this is very well documented. Go to HeartMath. They're the absolute experts in this, measuring the field of the heart. And that's another topic. But today I want to talk to you about how this affects your health and how this can assist your healing without doing anything else. And I think for the whole 30, 40 years, I've been howling at the moon going, there has to be a better way, there has to be a better way. And going through all the things that everybody goes through, it's the diet, it's the exercise, it's the light, it's the stress, it's the traumas, it's the microbiome, all the stuff that ends up just like something else to do, something else to buy. And, the people that come to me often have enough on their plate. They usually get young children. They're juggling so many different things in their head. It's difficult enough being a mum these days or a parent these days without somebody like me coming in and saying, you need to change everything. When we start to really understand this, the toroidal field, which comes from the heart up and around and down and around, and there's actually, I couldn't really find a great image because there's like two energy spheres inside two energy spheres, and God knows this is only what we're always know. Do your own research, because every day there's new information coming out about this stuff, and it's so exciting. So what let me take that off and let me show you this next one. So you'll heard me talking about this before, our electromagnetic field. We are, as well as being a kind of physiological meat suit, biological chemistry, we also have the electromagnetic side to the body, which works on the chakra systems and works on the meridian system, which is really primarily our power grid. And these chakras, or energy centers, whatever word you want to call them, they literally are above the organs in the body. Obviously, your throat chakra, which is throat and heart, I want to talk about right now today. So keep me focused. So these affect the organs underneath. And what we understand about energy medicine, which is the new frontier, and I'm going to be talking about this at the festival, so please come along and be part of this awakening to the wonder of who you are and what the body actually is. So this electromagnetic field, information, as I'm sure you can see there, it travels at the speed of light. It's light and information. That's what the body is at its essence. And I think more and more of us are actually starting to understand and realise the slightly illusionary nature of reality, that everything we thought we knew and we thought was true, well, isn't. Basically. And if you look at this electromagnetic field, we know that our thoughts are electrical. And again, I'm simplifying this. Electrical in nature, and our emotions are magnetic. And the electrical charge goes out and the magnet pulls it back. So we're literally phonons and photons, which is light and sound. And when you see yourself like this, and you start to realize everything you say, think, feel, do, believe, perceive, and do has an electromagnetic influence over the body. And this is where thou shalt not judge comes in. So if you're bad-mouthing somebody, the apparent other out there, guess what happens in your electromagnetic field? You send signals of there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. Now, data's saying that most of us are spending about 80% of our day in fight or flight. So we're electrocuting ourselves over and over again with what we think, what we feel, what we believe, and what we perceive. And I think you can see that all around you. And the stories that we make up. And it's been interesting for me over the last few weeks, the stories that people have been projecting to me and watching the reactions in my own body and in other people's bodies, and how do you stay out of that three-dimensional noise, the blame, shame, complain energy. Because you're human, right? So of course you feel it. Nothing wrong with that. But remembering this electromagnetic field is 100% your responsibility. Nobody else can do this inner work for you. It's just physics. But what can happen, and this is where I'm going now, if you get told in horrible language, your body's, it's dying, it's aggressive, it's incurable, it's non-operable, it's all of that language that gets used to describe our bodies when you go into the medical system. Think what that does to that electromagnetic field when you are absolutely terrified, overwhelmed, and just all your hope is taken away from you because of somebody else's words. Now, I don't know where you're at in this stuff, right? Some people, you may find this hard to believe. You may be triggered by this. That is not my intention. My intention is to help you see your power. your incredible power within you. And when we move to this new frontier, which is already happening all over our country, trust me, there's incredible people doing incredible work out of the ego, out of the mind, really understanding this interconnection. Let me get that one off and let me get this one on. So when our hearts are in tune, and go back to Joe Dispenza's work, you're an instrument of consciousness. And you're an instrument of consciousness. So, Matt, we all are. We're literally the microtubules within the cell, which are it's like a 3D harp. You can either be in tune, you can be sharp, or you can be flat. And I'm sure you felt that. You maybe be feeling flat recently. You may be feeling sharp. You may be finding it a bit more challenging to stay in tune. Maybe that's because of this massive shift in consciousness. Maybe it's got nothing to do with anything you're doing, eating, thinking, believing, perceiving. It's just the earth is tilting. We're evolving. And we always have been, and we always will be, towards something I like to believe that is much, much nicer than what we can see going on here. But is everybody going at the same time? Is everybody feeling it the same way? Is everybody perceiving it the same way? No. And this is where I don't know how people are still alive if they don't know how to let go. You have to be letting go and letting go and letting go, because the narrative we've been given about the body is archaic. It's ancient, outdated model of physics. Absolute bullshit. So when you go in the 3D world and take a snapshot of this energy system, and then you predict somebody's fate with that 1 second in time, you can then follow that destiny. It's witchcraft. Now that we are understanding the power of the word, the power of belief, the power of faith, the power of emotions on this electromagnetic field, there's never been a more important time to really learn this stuff, so that you are never put into that position of terror around your body. Because trust me, it's happening every day. It'll be happening today. People will be getting terrified around their own body. Excuse me, my throat's doing something. My glands are obviously working on something. So, faith in the body. Faith in what even is this? What we can't see, our hearts interacting, we can feel it, can't we? We know when there's somebody we love in the room and we're like, yes, and we're going to have a great time and we're going to have great conversations and we're going to really, really focus on, for me, the bigger picture, which is turning our health trajectory around, which will never, ever come with people that blame, shame and complain. The radical responsibility of looking after this toroidal field can only be done by each individual one of us. I can't fix that for you. I can teach you, I can inspire you, and I can support you in the way, for sure, and I will do that if you're interested, but I cannot do it for you. And this is the big, big shift in perception. It's like, can you tell me what's wrong with me? No. Can I tune in and find out why the body is communicating this information to me? I'm going to show you. I know that I called it voice and love, I think, whatever. Love and the power of your voice, right? So what we know, and this is the 528, this is the love tuners. And please, I am patiently waiting on the love tuners. Please be patient with me. And if you need a refund, just let me know and I'll refund your money. But otherwise, just be patient, they're coming. So when you tune into this 528, where is it? I wear this thing all the time. I love it. It gives me a feeling which I didn't expect. It gives me a feeling of safety that I know I can put myself into state because I've got this round my neck. So breathing in. So I can invite love. We've got free will, right? And although we are affected by others, we can really learn not to be. And this heart of ours is unbelievable. It's picking up information in the field. And if you're an empath, and I know a lot of people that are, that can be challenging, right? Especially if you're not fully aware, because you're picking up all sorts of pain and suffering that's going on outside in the, for other humans on the planet. So when we focus in on this heart center, like I just did with 528, I can use the sound, the phonons, to help change what this field is doing. Right, so you don't have the love tuner yet, but you can do this quite easily. There's tons of stuff in YouTube you can tune into, and you could. But what I want you to do today is use the power of the voice, because here's what I discovered this very morning: how the vowels affect the toroidal field. Now, I know that this is probably, I know I've got a sciencey brain. That's why I love the source. I mean, much as I think a lot of science is a lot of bollocks, because it's filtered through humans, usually really egotistical humans that want money. So it's the pure science of understanding. Right, I know. I played this to my friend Stuart up at the farm the other day, and he felt it straight away. As you will. Not everybody will, because not all of us are I wasn't. Not all of us are tuned into frequency. So if you just tune in with me and invite love. This is the key of C. And this is yellow, green in colour. That's the colour and the colour spectrum, which is the photons are the light and the phonons are the sound. And when we start bringing in more light by being in a frequency that allows it, when we open the heart, you have to have the heart open, and this is the other thing with the breath work that I teach. It's all about the heart and the toroidal field and letting go. And it's very, very different from any other breathwork training that you'll do. As far as I'm aware, certainly all the ones I've done have not brought this into it. And this, to me, is where when the energy flows, this is where faith healings, miracle healings, and they're happening. And some people, take a little bit longer to heal than others. There's more information. Maybe there's a soul journey in there. Does anybody truly know and understand? I don't know. But what we are doing, we're starting to put together this mystery of life. And the main thing is understanding that everything you need is within you. And what we have to teach at Heal Scotland, and what we're going to be doing, very excited, we're doing a pop-up psychic school down at Hobbs in Cretan with Jennifer Main. It's all about going into this invisible side, and this is where faith comes in, because you've got to feel this for yourself. You can't see it. I can't see. I can sometimes see auras in certain light, and I can't see them. Some people can tune in. They can see where the blockages are, because there might be a blockage in your liver or any organ that has a physical issue, but it also could have an electromagnetic issue, which is your emotions, stuck emotions. So when you start to see the body like this electromagnetic field, and you can feel things, and you can talk to this incredible, intelligent energy system, which interacts with, and these fields, we all have this. And when this interacts with other people's fields, and again, Lynn McTaggart's research in The Bond, read that book, absolutely brilliant. When these energy systems start to play into the grand field of energy, the divine, the sacred field, the informational field, God, chi, whatever word you want to call it, the higher intelligence that I didn't even used to understand was there. I was never brought up in any faith. I didn't realize it was an intelligence. I tripped over manifesting things like a salon in the sun, but just from a very 3D perspective. Write down your goals and you'll get your goal. Visualize it, imagine it, and then let it go. Inadvertently, I did these things and I got the salon in the sun. And then you start to realize that you are, whoa, I'm interacting with a field of energy, an intelligence that is so profound and magnificent. What do I want in life? You know, what is the, you need to, it's a responsibility, right? What are you thinking? What information are you putting through your own cells? What information are you putting into your children's cells, your grandchildren's cells, your workplace? And I'm very excited. My friend Lauren and her business partner Lee are doing some incredible work, because harmony, if we're all in tune, this is when the orchestra is amazing, and this is what we are. We're an orchestra. But if somebody wants to play the flute in a different key and says, you're not good enough to be in my orchestra, and then something else, a fiddle or a violin over here wants to play, it just doesn't, you don't get the coherent sound. And anybody who's into music will know, you'll just strum the guitar and you know instantly one of the strings are out of tune. What is that just comes into your ears and tells you immediately, you know, sharpen up your D string? So when you start to see the body like this, and when you understand that this field is being impacted by the vowels and the intention behind your words, right? So, and this is the other thing that drives me nuts about how people, what people take on around their body. Words like incurable, terminal. I met Dr. Brian Clements from the Hippocrates Institute years ago. I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, 12, I don't know, something like that. He stood on stage and he said, there is no dis-ease that has a name that I have not seen healed. Because he has an amazing place, right? He's got it all set up. They've been doing it for a long, long time. Hippocrates, let food be your medicine. And we know it's more than food, especially nowadays with the mental amount of information we've got. But what we're really starting to understand is the power of sound and the power of your own voice. Because I'm really, I'm selling the Love Tuners because I love it and I do like a wee gadget, and I have quite a lot of wee gadgets that can help and support. But ultimately, I know we don't need any of that stuff, that external stuff. It's a distraction and it can be helpful for sure. But when you open your heart, when we open our hearts into that and go into that 528 state of unconditional love, there's a gate, this green gate, the green ray, that opens and allows this field to flow uninhibited. And when you can stay in that state, the body heals itself. The blueprint for information is there. The cells made you, they made me. That intelligence is there. I don't know how anyone can doubt it nowadays. To give the body to somebody else to fix really is going to become a very, very outdated belief system very quickly, I believe, as we start to remember what we are and who we are. Almost these intergalactic, energetic beings. I know it sounds far-fetched, but this is what science and physics is showing us. Now, when you do the breath work, Kenny always says, if you don't believe it, feel it. When you come to one of our breath works, you will have this experience. And the power of letting go, because that's the other big difference in our breath work, is the letting go, the Sedona method, that we weave through it. We're encouraging you all, we're talking to the subconscious mind. The cells are going into this state of expansion. And the faith is coming in. It takes courage to have faith, right? I'm talking to my friend Naomi this afternoon about finding Jesus. I'm like, I want to know more about this. What's this about? And then having the courage to come out to the world and saying it. I've got the courage. I just don't have that faith quite yet. I've faith in this. And I've been exploring the story of Jesus. But yeah, let's just see. You never know what will happen in the future. But let's look at how the vowels are affecting your field. And you've got to think this is where chanting comes in. I remember hiking up the Annapurna Mountains in Nepal, and it was very cold. We're up above the snow line, and there was these little huts they're living in. And the average age there is something like 38. It's brutal conditions that are obviously improving, but back then it was 20 odd years ago. And I remember hearing these men sitting in their little, up in this wee kind of ledge, chanting. I was like, what are they doing? And why are they doing it? Just sitting there singing. Like, that's because that's what it sounded. It sounded nice. I didn't understand what they were doing, but they did. They understood this way, 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 way before we were getting it. In the East, they know this. They know about the power of the mind. They know about the heart. They know about faith. They know about the frequency of love. They know all this stuff. And I feel like I can't believe I'm getting to this. I'm only now starting to understand it. And it's so exciting because it gives you your power back. And, you know, with a mission like Heal Scotland, which is to help, ultimately, to help people move out of suffering, that's what it is. The suffering is the big, big problem. And you can tune into these different frequencies. Suffering dissolves and disappears, and it can happen in an instant. And that's why we're going to get 300 people together in the Metro in Saltcoats doing 528 breathwork. We're getting 300 people there, so get that in your diary. I can't remember the date. Let me just, I think it's the 17th of October. We're going to be in the Metro in Saltcoats, and we're going to be breathing, because this work done collectively is beyond powerful. Here it is. I'm going to put this into the chat now. Hi, Mary. Oh, did you know? You didn't? Oh, I'm glad. I'm telling you something new. That's exciting, isn't it? So we're going to use the voice harmonics. Now, we understand that when we speak, we use 80% of our vocal cords. And when we sing or chant or hum, we use 100%. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the body's designed to use 100% of its capacity. It is designed to sing. So let's just look at all the different sounds that we can make. So breathing in. Now this is quite high for me. I'm an alto, so you might find it easier to Now this is not a competition about who can om the nicest. It's got nothing to do with performance and got everything to do with vibration. You can probably hear, I've had a really sore throat through the night, and I can feel my glands, my body's clearly healing itself. It's not an issue for me. I feel fine, but the body's definitely doing something. It doesn't matter what it sounds like. It's the key. Oh. And if you do, You can go through they're the vowels for but really feeling into how it feels in the body. It's the same as this. You're turning yourself into that frequency and using your yi, the power of your mind, to go, I'm doing this. And that's the beauty of this. We think, I can just hold on to that. And I'm like that, 5, 2, 8, please. We have the power within us to change our frequency. And when you go to the Reiki Love Club, and I know there's loads of people doing sound, but I'm using the Reiki Love Club right now as an example because I've been going in there and just, she's got it so beautiful. And Michelle's just an absolutely glowing soul. And and she teaches you about sound. And my friends down Zendevers who come to the Tarbert Festival, Rachel and Joe, they've got their gongs and really getting into the John Reed's work about the sound waves being a bubble, because the waves are what penetrate or not the cell membrane and how they penetrate and the shape. And all of that is sacred geometry. So who knew that what vowel we were saying was having an impact on this and this and this? Because what happens, I don't know if you saw my podcast with Natalie last night, Natalie Gilbert, it was absolutely bloody joyful because she's a laughter yoga teacher. And the minute I met her, I wanted to start smiling and laughing. She was just like, it was so nice because she practices it and she's saying, have a laughter practice. Now we know when we laugh, we create all that, it feels good, right? But normally what we're looking for is something funny. A comedian, Kevin Bridges, Frankie Boyle, I know it's controversial, but I love him, I think he's hilarious. There's lots of brilliant Dave Chappelle, they're my favourites. I just love it because I laugh out loud. But I've also got a lot of funny friends that I laugh out loud with. But a laughter practice for 10 minutes a day, can we make that a thing in Scotland? Because we're pretty good at laughing at ourselves as well. So I think that's something that we can really, really focus in on, is laughing. The heart expands. Everything. You see it, Beth? She was amazing, wasn't she? And she's coming to the Nairn Festival. Just it's all about this field. And when we go into these states of joy, and when you look at this, let me get back here. So when you have these energy centers, and we've got lots of energy centers, but just for argument's sake right now, look at, we've got that, to me looks like probably the sacral chakra. That's the point of creation where we grow humans in there in the womb space. And that's where all the sexual organs are for men as well. That's the point of creation, where the sexual energy is. And as we're moving up, so we've got the root, the solar plexus, the sacrum and the solar plexus, before just above and below the belly button. And then we move into this heart center right here. And this is where we want this energy to be flowing freely. But it can't if you're in blame, shame and complain and judgment and virtue signaling and wanting to be right, wanting to be special, wanting to be better. The heart closes as soon as we go into these states. So when you open up and you're like, whoa, I can open this heart into this amazing state of being. And all of that, as you move from 3D into 5D feeling, the thinking just completely changes. And at the Sedona method, we talk about that. We moving from these contracted states into these expansive states where suffering disappears, where problems disappear and solutions appear. And this is truly the excitement of 5D. It's a state that you and me and collectively we can all get into. Now, what's happening really, really soon, watch this space, I'll be able to talk about this on Thursday. We're going to have a place where believers can get together. And, my friend Shirley lost her daughter. She chose not to have a bone marrow transplant, and she walked her final months the way she chose. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody, because it's absolutely not. I've never met anybody so brave in my life, because I've watched a bone marrow transplant. I would never, ever, ever, ever get one, or I wouldn't want one, because I've watched it. But that's my choice. It's not everybody's. Some people go and they get amazing results. It's a very personal choice. But when you go into a system that is based around, we tell you what to do and this is what you do what we say, and you're like, no, that's not what I want, you get treated in a very different way. So what we're wanting to do, what we're doing, is creating a space for people who believe in the potential of this. The electromagnetic field, the toroidal field, love. And when you flood your body with love, when you learn the power of your voice. Now, Danielle was absolutely adamant, I'm not having that. And in a very candid conversation afterwards, it was kind of generally accepted that probably the treatment wouldn't have helped the issue. It's a minefield, I'm not here to say what's right and what's wrong about treatment choices, because it's deeply personal. And it also depends where you're at in life. And we're starting these talks, the Fantastic Four Wild Energy talks. The first one is going to be on the 25th of September. You have to be a member of the community to listen, though. We're taking all this stuff into the community for the simple reason YouTube can't take it down. It can't get censored and blocked and all the bloody algorithms and all that nonsense. So we're taking this stuff that I'm teaching you today into our community. It's £1.20 a week. And I know that pretty much everybody, if they're really keen and they want to learn about this incredible magnificence and intelligence that we are, they can afford £1.20 a week. If you're a business, it's £3 a week, but we will support and help your business to grow by connecting you with the right people. No trolling. If you don't believe in this stuff, that's absolutely fine. This is not the place. Get off my timeline, because that's all I'm going to be talking about. It's so exciting. We're moving away from the dark ages, the toxicity and the poison, and we're moving into these much lighter states of being. That's my belief. If you have to hold hands with it for a little while, so be it, until you have the courage of your convictions, which is that you are a spiritual divine being who is electromagnetic in nature. Look at you. Look at us. When we start to think power, we start to think, I can do this. And when we get in here, because this is something else that's very important, your subconscious beliefs. And with theta healing, which I highly recommend you do if you're a healer or if you're sick, get on Jennifer Main's course. She's going to be doing level 1 and 2 in March in Creetown, however you say it. And combining all of this stuff, this field flowing through you will heal you. But your big problem is when you shut the heart gate because of your attitude, your perceptions, your limiting beliefs, and probably your subconscious beliefs, and maybe the people you're surrounding yourself with. If they're negative nannies, you need to move away. Now, my friend, when she healed herself, had to remove some of her family for that 9 months that it took, because this is another part of the conversation we're going to be having. If you choose not to go against the medical advice, and if you've been given a terminal, stage 4, whatever it is, diagnosis that seems hopeless, everybody around you with the best will in the world goes into fear because they want you to stay. And that fear is palpable. You don't need to say a word. You can just feel it. And that's why somebody like me, if you're diagnosed stage 4 or terminal and you come to me, I know healing is a potential in your field. Whether you will believe it, see it, perceive it or not is not up to me. All I can do is teach you everything that I know. And I tell you right now, thousands of people are defying the odds. And we don't have a place for people to go to try. As my granddaughter said to my aunt one time when she was about 3, she said, "Come and run with me, Auntie Mary." And Auntie Mary said, "Oh, I can't run now, darling." And she said, "Well, you can try." And I looked at her at 3 years old. I thought, "You're brilliant. You can try." So instead of leaving people hopeless, terrified, and overwhelmed, what if we go, right, okay, let's start. You're an energy system. We can easily look at nutrition. There's trillions of people doing that. You don't need anybody else. Cut out the shite. We know that. What are your subconscious beliefs? What are you believing about yourself? Do you have faith in a higher power? Get Kelly Turner's book out, The 9 Things That Everybody That Defied the Odds Did. We've got all the signs, we've got all the data, we know what to do, but we're not doing it. But that's going to change. So the good news is today that you can chant and sing. Imagine is actually written in 528. So put that on at the top and sing it at the top of your voice. And as you understand that these vowels, that your voice is influencing your field. It's absolutely incredible. Say that again about the person coming to Cretan. Oh, is it? Yeah. Do you know where my friend Stephanie Campbell's place, Hobbs? I don't know what the address is. It's kind of up above the caravan park. When you look down, you can see the caravan park and the river. Heal Scotland's going to be there for a month, the month of March, with a pop-up healing centre. So we're going to have Jennifer Main's going to be doing Theta Healing Level 1 and 2. And she's also doing her very first pop-up psychic centre. Yes, Jennifer Philip Mains, she's going to be there. And I'm going to be doing some fasting. We've not got the programme completely complete yet. You know, Steph, Julia, well, that's where we're going to be. If you go on the Heal Scotland website, healscotland.com, and there's a tab that says the Heal In, and that's where we're going to be in Skye for a month running these courses, and then we're going to be down in Creighton for a month running courses as well. Different programmes. What we absolutely know has to happen is that we give you the tools to use at home. With the community that we now have, that you can join for a £5 a month, it's a cooperative, it's a collective that will allow us to rent a space or maybe even buy a space. The new centre is very, very close to happening. I can feel it in my bones. A place where you can come and learn, where everybody can come and learn, but maybe more importantly, a community of believers. I've been talking about this for a long time, Believers Anonymous. So we're going to be, since I'm now going to be at the festivals, we've got Aberfeldy this weekend, we've got Nairn the following weekend, and then we've got Strontian in October. And we're going to be talking about this stuff and demonstrating this stuff to you. We're going to be doing the breathwork in Saltcoats in Ayr. It's a Friday night at 7 o'clock. Come and join us. Be part of this. Collectively, it's a movement for the people, by the people. It's not about me. This community is a cooperative community where everybody has to play a part. That, you know, I'm kind of, you might have noticed, getting a wee bit fed up. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You should do this. Why don't you do something? What's the solution? I cannot do everything myself. It's just physically, time-wise. Although maybe that's not true. Focusing in on the 528 and really seeing the vision of our health trajectory turned round. That our kids are not anxious and suicidal. That our old people are not demented with Alzheimer's. That we're not all stressed to the max. That's what we're talking about. That's the reality of the movement. That we can change this. But we have to pull together. And with that, I have prattled on for long enough. I really hope that you've got something from this and that you can see the vision. It comes through me. I don't know if you saw my podcast with the Dr. Susie and Chris Peach yesterday. They're creating something incredible as well. The Peach Wellness Academy. These people have got that, whatever it is, spirit glowing through them as well. And, you know, you come up against a lot of attacks. That's part of it when you're changing the narrative, changing people's belief systems. It's just the most exciting stuff I have ever come across. And I'm so lucky to have these guys that have done the breathwork course that are literally, their lives have transformed. And I'm not saying that lightly. And the course the next time is going to be even better. But you have to have an understanding of the quantum world. And if you don't have an understanding, you need to be open to it. And you need to be able to open your heart. And you need to do the work on yourself. And we've got more incredible. Honestly, right now, I was talking to my pal this morning. I'm like, I can't believe this. The energy that's flowing through us and the opportunities that are coming are mind-blowing. Almost like scary, except I know that fear and ecstasy are closely linked. Everything that I've been dreaming about and visualizing and seeing what we need a place, we need a place. If you know me at all, you know I've been going on about it forever. This is where we're going, into this space. We've created 4 different breathworks, from gentle 528 coherence breathworks through to really dynamic advanced breathworks, and there's more in the air coming through me. And I'm very, very excited to have the phenomenal people that I've got out in the community teaching this now and getting mind-blowing results, really mind-blowing. And I didn't want to over-egg it too much, because then people come with very high expectations and may not understand. They may not get the experience, because we don't always get the experience we want, because we come in one expectation level. So yeah, phenomenal. Julie, you're a homeopath. We need to talk. Yeah, because what we also want to do in the community is, there's place for online courses in there. Online courses that can be free, that can lead people to your site, or online courses that can have a cost to them if you're putting a lot of money and time into it. It's okay to charge for stuff. And then we can put people into groups. So people that are really Believers Anonymous, for example, let's work on this stuff. Let's get these toroidal fields in tune and let's get this energy flowing. It's so exciting and it feels good. And let's move our brothers and sisters out of the immense suffering. And you probably heard the talk, if you listened to the podcast with Natalie yesterday, we were talking about some people have never really laughed that much. I've spent my whole life laughing. I've got 4 brothers, they're all hilarious. So that was, and I've got very hilarious friends, and every day I hang out, we laugh a lot. Don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of sadness over the last few years, as I think there has been for a lot of people, a lot of grief, but in general, we revert back to hilarity. So I've been very lucky to have that in my life. Not everybody has. So I'm loving this idea with Natalie, the laughter practice, 10 minutes a day. What can we do? Kevin Bridges, if you're listening, can you help me? Anyway, that's out in the field now. I better get off here because I've got lots of other things to do today. Trying to get everything set up for fill my car with all the stuff that we need for Aberfeldy. I'm very excited to get there as well this weekend. What a beautiful hall it is. And yeah, the festivals are just such a really inexpensive way to access all of this stuff. And we're taking that atmosphere into the community where you can really learn. You can tell us what you need, ask questions. Very, very rarely can I not answer a question. And if I can't answer it, I know somebody who will be able to answer it. So it's phenomenally exciting times in terms of healing. And yeah, I've got a very important meeting tomorrow. And I hope to be on here screaming about our first healing and education oasis. Great, Julie. Yeah, Julia, ping me a message and let's get on WhatsApp and have a chat. Okay, guys, huge love. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can help me by sharing, spreading the word to other like-minded peeps in your community. This is all about collaboration. It cannot happen with only me. It can only happen if everybody adds in their voice, if everybody who's genuinely interested, they can 100% tune in. What time tomorrow? Oh, the meeting that I'm having tomorrow is at 3 o'clock, but I'll be talking about it at the festival in Aberfeldy. Maybe that's when I'll launch the news. Anyway, amazing, guys. Thanks for all your interaction and your interest. And yeah, remember, share, like, comment, tell other people that you know are into this kind of stuff. Join the community. A £5 a month. It's easy peasy money. It's just, we're going to create an incredible library that's going to help people move out of suffering. That's the plan. Huge love. Chat soon.